like Africa. Africa is a unique place to do business. If you do business in Europe, and then you want to use the same approach in Africa, you myself, or with the fact that in Africa not citizens. Um, so yeah, that's more came on for that. And things we find in all of Africa. Yes, few from um, from India because India and I say I like. Um, yeah, I like it. I think that's what I'll use. But don't let me keep talking. Let me just let you start giving us. I went through your story. I won't tell you. Okay, maybe as we keep conversing, you might get to see that I actually went through your story. Um, but let me ask you. You're Mr. Jide. All of us know that you're the echo. But we know where the echo man said made it this industry, and the impact this industry is. Your how has it been thus far? Just give us where the entire genesis was. Not even echo to you and your interest in this industry or in conserving. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Ah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Actually, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm,
sense or understanding around business viability, business sustainability. And then when we try like different experiments or different hypotheses and it's not working, we pivot. Right? Oh, we thought this would work. We thought if we create this, it will work. And then some of them realize they are just best as projects, right? Not as a business. And so we train people around it at the time and then we let them just handle it and then we move on. But one thing that keeps that hold us together, or one thing that directs the path of all that I'm doing is centered around what contributes to a better environment, what people can easily and able and they can readily afford, and then what also means that we are also able to sustain as a business on the long run. I mean, these are like being the rally call. So it's more of less like for profit, for people, and for the planet, basically. Yeah, I mean, so fast forward got me here. Fast forward don't carry me where in this case, where I know, but I don't know so now they come. So yeah, so
Oh,
that,
oh yeah. Let me take you on a small journey. I'm writing a lot. I brought a very big journal so that I can document as much as I can while you talk, because for me, I'm personally interested, not just because this is business Momo. I'm so deeply interested in knowing the crux, here, there. Now, apart from the fact that we're just having a conversation, it's also important to know that this is founder's story. Everything we do must find a way to ensure that other founders, um, those who have already founded, those who are currently finding, those who are on the way to finding, get the exact ingredients that are necessary to build something that's sustainable, especially when you're in a purposeful industry like yours. So I have a few friends, senior friends mostly, who are in the business of trying to conserve the earth. And I know that that industry is extremely purposeful. In fact, you might not be able to survive long term um, if you're not thinking first about purpose before profit. You know, there are many businesses, many business models, many business styles, but they don't work as they work in every other industry. In your industry, your industry is so unique. I'll take it back very quickly. Why did you guys write a book um, for kids at that time? I know that to preach, because you said you were majorly doing advocacy. I know that to preach some of these ideas and to drum it into society so that they will last long term, many times we attempt to start from, the people who will eventually grow into, the adults in society. So I know you guys wrote a book for kids. What was in that? Why did you write that book? And I know it was forwarded by the great Mr. Magical Domi. I want to know what exactly happened around that time and what motivated all those moves you guys are making.
that was when I was fully in my advocacy phase of my life. Going about educating, sensitizing about what I know as well as with some other people that we get to do this together at the time. So one thing that we usually realize is, because we're talking about climate change, we're talking about global warming, we're talking about all of those big issues. So we realize that in the course of really talking about these issues in depth, we get to be scientific about how we talk about it. For example, you talk about how when you generate waste, you pile it up somewhere. For example, you get it on the landfills, and over time, it releases methane gases that goes into the atmosphere, to the ozone layer. The ozone layer this is now having this particular effect. So we realize that we bore people with most of those science, especially for those that are not interested in sciences, right? We were targeting secondary school students at the time, and then we thought, we can still remember most of the comics that we watched growing up. The Super Striker, the Power Rangers, the Justice League, the Avengers, the Ninja Turtles, the Tom and Jerry, and all of those. I mean, we can still even remember some of those things, the Incredible Hulk, the Silver Hulk, and all of those, right? So we thought, and mostly those guys are usually in the quest of saving the world. If you really go through how part of the community or the city is in danger, and then they wear their capes, they activate or their what, everybody bring their comparative skills. Flash comes into it with his own running skills. Superman is there flying up and down. Everybody just doing their thing. But with the common goal of saving the city, saving their world, saving their space, and all of that. And as kids, we want to be heroes, right? We want to be the next Superman. I would also remember how myself and, of course, people that we grew up together would tie our mother's wrapper around our necks to form capes because we want to fly, right? We want to be like Superman to go rescue someone somewhere in one corner inside the infernal. And so we thought, I mean, we can actually make this fun, right? While we're talking about a very important issue like climate change, like global warming, or like protecting the environment, we can make it fun in a way that is attractive to anybody that's just interested in anything we love to learn about. And that's how we talk about using stories, because I mean, I can still remember a lot of stories that were told growing up as kids, because they are stories. And then using comics, right? Comics, cartoons, and animations to sort of draw young people, like younger people, into those characters, right? So they see themselves as, oh, this is me, this is that, this is my community, we need to save it, and this is what I can do. So the book also speaks to things as little as, things as basic as switching on the light bulb in the house when not use, not wasting water. You know how we just stay in the shower now, like
you don't baby use. You know how we bamba in the bathroom, just open shower and start chilling till daybreak. So helping these young people understand that this is having impact on the environment, and that there are people like young people like you somewhere that can't even get a clean cup of water. And then you are here. So that realization, then also planting trees at home and in schools, reducing and recycling of household waste, and also further sensitizing young people like themselves to do the same thing. And so there was this part in the last part, it's like a pledge, right? Yeah. Where after you've read all the thing, then you pledge, you speak to yourself and say, this is what I would do to protect and safeguard the environment. More like commitments. I mean, somewhere, somehow, in your growth journey, you remember that, I pledged that I would do ABC. Maybe that can spoil it for that action. Yeah, that was the idea.
Oh, that's a whole lot. I personally have interacted with people who have wanted to reach out. But when I saw how you guys reached out, I was wondering, why didn't they think about writing a book? Because if I'm being honest, if you wrote a very interesting piece and you gave it to a young chap, they will consume that piece. When I was young, I used to read Super Strikers every week. Every single week, I knew who was scoring what goal. I knew what team they were facing. These guys, I was back to back with them. And around that time, all of those guys, we all remember them. I mean, Milo shirts and all. It was the defining comic book for most children. And many times in those books, most people don't remember this, but I remember this vividly because it used to catch my attention. Beyond football, which was the theme of the comic, those guys used to find ways to communicate little things like teamwork. There was one where I think El Matador was fighting with Shags, so he wouldn't pass the ball, and then they lost the match. And then the coach put them back in and, motivated these guys and said, hey, guys, come on, you can do this. You don't have to fight. A house divided against itself will not stand. So they went back and they began to work together and boom. They trashed those guys. Little things like that, I remember personally, made someone like me to want to work more on teams. And using that kind of strategy to communicate something as important as preserving this little planet we live on, it sounds like something that was born out of a mastermind. I don't know what you guys were thinking when you did that, but I can almost guarantee that it was probably, some very dangerous mastermind you guys were operating at that time. But what led to all the trips abroad? I observed that the time came when your work began to draw attention, and you began to mingle with certain circles. I know that contributed eventually to everything that became of business. I'll ask about one business, and we'll continue talking about Ecotutu. But how did that entire transition happen? The Nigerian boy who was passionate and
Well, so it's basically about identifying the path that I want to play. I've only identified it, right? Not like entirely clear that this is how or this is what I would do. But I knew already from the get-go that this is the area I want to play, and there are different legs to it. So I was getting involved in the work, of course with other people, and I was as well looking out for opportunities that helps me to also improve myself. You can't give what you don't have. And there's also the place of being part of communities of people that are trying to do what you're trying to do in one way or the other. It provides support. So me realizing all of this was one of those that get me started applying for programs and opportunities that I think would help me with the requisite skills I need. Also help me get into communities that I want to belong to for me to be able to drive all these things. Because I know that as I get along on the journey, the goals will get bigger, the work will get bigger. Being part of a community that helps me realize that I'm not just the only person doing this kind of thing, or that I can always run back to get support when I want to get tired, or get advice, or get motivation, or even generally get support, right? So realizing that got me to start applying, and for every 10 applications, I probably will get like maybe a 1, right? And so it's the one that gets me to where I am today.
Talk to me about Renewed Drive. I want to know where that was born. We're coming somewhere. We're telling a story. We're going along a path. We're coming to Ecotutu. But talk to me about Renewed Drive. How did that come about?
So from that realization to say, beyond telling people what to do for the environment or what not to do, what alternatives are you bringing? And at the time, we're really advocating around deforestation, stop cutting trees. So there was a lot of noise around at the time. So of course, we're pushing, joining other stakeholders across the world to push for that. And we now saw something that is like discussed as waste. So farm produce, dry farm produce. Eventually what they burn them off. And so when we're doing research to see how can we convert waste, there was a lot of noise at some point around waste to wealth, waste to value from different stakeholders as well. And so we're able to identify how some guys somewhere in another part of Africa are converting dry agricultural waste into briquettes. So the briquette just works in form of charcoal. And it's for cooking basically. And these guys were able to build a business from that, right? That same sort of time, like a very great way to start, right? The waste is here. You most likely will not be paying to get the waste. All you just need to now is learn the techniques and be able to get the basic tools for you to start processing basically, and start getting people to buy and use the produce, right? And that was like a somewhat easy entry point for us to even get around 30 in terms of how can we start creating alternatives for people. And so in the course of thinking for what names fit and all that, the new drive came from the place of we also knew for sure that we were not just doing briquettes, that we'll be doing some other things, right? We're across that verticals. So we now thought most of what we'll be to convert like discarded items or product into something that is valuable that solves other problems. And so we talked about renew, right? So whatever item we want to use, whatever discarded product we want to use to do something else, we are renewing it. And then the drive part now comes in different forms. So drive could be for cooking, drive could be for you to get from point A to point B, drive could be to get your work done. So in the literal sense, like drive, right? Maybe drive economic activities, drive social activities, or drive whatever you want to drive, right? And so we now say, okay, that would be. I remember the logo at the time was like a cyclic plant that keeps renewing, and it's green, right? So it never have waste across the value chain, and that was the whole idea. So yeah, like I said, we did a couple of business experimenting under Renew Drive. So the briquette thing we call Clean at the time, the business case after I wasn't looking compelling enough for us, and so we pivoted into converting organic waste, kitchen waste into gas, which is biogas, which is popularly called biogas. We call that as well, I think clean cook or something. Give it one name. And then we built a couple of prototypes of that. We tried checking the pulse of the market on the product. We also had questions, a lot of that around the viability of that as well. Because one thing that we were so really very clear about is we won't be wasting time on what is not working, right? Mm-hmm. We'll try it and see if it works. If you're able to unlock, add the right model, yes, then we'll grow it. If we can't, then maybe we'll find a better way or other ways of doing it, or we'll just keep finding. And it was in keep finding that what has now become Ecotutu today came into play. So I took a course again. That was in my National Youth Service Corps program in 2016. That also exposed me to the idea of how issues are interconnected. And why it's important to understand problems that you're intending to solve. Right? We just wanted to provide alternatives. Right? That was what got us looking for ways, converting. Of course, we know there's a big problem with having access to clean energy to cook. But right there, in the course of taking that course, because I was with Earth Charter International at the time. So I said to myself, why wait for food to go to waste before converting into gas in the biodigester? Can whatever happens to waste stopping the food from getting to waste, except for leftovers? Right? Because we realize a lot of prime producers also that can't make it into tables are also like a stock for biodigesters to make gas. But then we say the region is growing, we need more food, we need to produce more. How much salvaging the one that we produce? How much are we produce? How much maximizing the one that is maximizing the one that is produced? These are people's efforts. These are resources. And then bulk of it ends waste. It doesn't make any social or economic sense, even environmental sense. Right? Imagine that you work and then the whole harvest cycle, you lose 40% of your order that you put into the work. It's just a matter of time, like you get out of that business and move to something else. So these were now the gaps that we're seeing. So I told myself at the time, and I told people that we were working together on a couple of talks, say, guys, we need to do something at stopping this from going to waste. Instead of us waiting for it to waste before we now convert to biogas. So that was. So we started doing some experimenting around cold storage. I remember we built some really small boxes at the time. When I look back, I say, "Oh my God, what have we done?" But yeah, that's gotten us to where we are today. And when the traction was now coming for Ecotutu, and then because the prospect that we saw in the market, so we said to ourselves, "Okay, it might just be best to separate these two entities, right?" Because the structure that we have started with is not the same as what we thought. From the understanding that we're now getting from the training that we got, the exposure in terms of how to better structure business, right? How to better structure your company in that you're able to scale it and grow it even without you around. So it is the whole learning, the whole understanding that was now infused into now creating a separate structure for Ecotutu and ensuring that we get the whole thing right from the get-go. So what you guys is now doing for us now is
is now serving like a springboard for our different crazy ideas within the clean tech, right? So it's just so new drivers now taking the back seat now to say if there's any idea that we're thinking about in this whole clean tech environment space, and then we want to test it or want to experiment it. So new drive is now doing that at the back end. So Ecotutu now is a company focused on providing clean cooling for businesses across the food and health value chain.
Yeah. Let me drop a question very quickly. I'm a numbers guy. I'm the kind of guy you call hardcore when it comes to business. I like to read financial reports. I do it every month. I'll just go download random financial reports from across the world and just start reading them. Recently, I was in Indomie's financial report. I was like, oh, okay, Dufil, actually, not Indomie, Dufil. That's the mother company. I was like, how? This guys are making money. I have friends who say that they do not like the entire industry around the environment. And I know that we are at that point in civilization when, for almost everybody, the environment must become a key part of what makes you to, what guides your business decision. For example, one of the most important companies on earth today is that important because they're trying to solve the climate change issue. I know there is a lot of theory here and there that they are not really doing that, and I'm talking of Tesla. But I mean, in set terms, in very simple terms, very plain terms, they actually started out with that in mind, and I think they will do everything they can in their power to ensure that that's the final goal. But however, we cannot, in pursuit of this extremely noble purpose, ignore extreme business viability. If there is a system that combines this purpose and a very good model, very good structure with very excellent product, then what we have birthed is an innovation, it's a revolution. Tesla is a revolution, if I'll be honest with you. So you started somewhere with renewed drive, and as you evolve, because evolution is extremely important in business, you realize that certain products were not exactly going to work business-wise now. It might have worked purpose-wise, but it wasn't going to work business-wise. Now, I need you to guide me and every other person who's watching through the entire mental process that it takes to determine what products are not it and what products are it. Because most founders do not know when exactly to call a product quit. Then they go over and over and over. 10 years, they're still on something that is not making money and is not making impact. Because if it's not making money, you wouldn't have extra fuel to scale, because Tesla is as big as it is and it's making the impact it's making because it is making money, right? So I need you to walk me through that business framework that it takes for you as a founder to be able to this product, no, this, no. Oh, I think this is scalable. Walk me through that process. Okay.
So it starts with the problem. The problem that you to solve with your solution. Or more like that you set out to solve, right? So I believe there are different ways to solve a problem. And that's why they usually advise get obsessed with the problem, not your solution. Because your solution might not just be the answer to that problem. When you understand the problem deep enough, then you can also identify the expanse of the opportunity in that space. Again, you know that there are like some business spaces, there are some problems that won't just go away. Like that, they will be around for a while. And so it's in you trying to solve those problems, providing solutions to solve those problems, and also creating opportunity for yourself. And this is where I think you can call the shot of, okay, this is the problem that I want to solve. How big is the problem? How big is the market opportunity? If you're able to solve this problem well enough. And it starts from there. So you now have different ideas on how you want to solve the problem. So you get to the field, you design something, you go experiment it, you look at the results, you can tell if it makes sense, or if you need to go back, think through your solution, if you need to tweak it, if you need to pivot the solution, or if you need to, just sort of start changing something, start modifying something from what you initially planned out. in a bid to address that same problem that you said to solve from the get-go. And that's why it's important that as founders that we understand from the get-go the problem that we want to solve. For Ecotutu, for example, I mean, we didn't plan out to say we want to build solar-powered cold rooms. I mean, even felt so big. We wanted to build small mobile cooling boxes, really small cooling boxes that we thought a farmer could own and they can afford. But it was when we get to the field, start understanding the market and all those things, that we now realize that all these farmers don't care about this storage, because all they care about is they want to harvest. There's someone coming up to pick it up, and then that person can take care of the logistics, the distribution, the storage, and the like. So first, the target market changed when we understood that this is what this value chain entails. This is what they currently do. And these are the people that we need to be talking to and engaging with, right? And from there, if these are the people that you need to be engaging with, what kind of solution best fits into their situation? For people that are aggregating from like tens or hundreds of farmers, you sure know that a small box would not even do anything to them, right? Because they are putting together like say 100, 200 crate of produce at a time. So meaning that you need something bigger, more expansive that can take on that demand from this. So that somewhat changed or altered the initial plan that we had in mind, but it doesn't derail us from the problem of food insecurity that we set to solve. So I think it's important that we have that clear sense of what is the problem, how big is it, who are the stakeholders involved, who is affected, and how can we better serve them. Then get into the field, design something, experiment. It's in experimenting that you can now be able to identify who is your right customer segment, what is your best business model to start and scale, and what is your product market fit to put in place to serve the customers.
A whole lot of guys see these things we do, and I mean a whole lot of guys, thousands of them. I want to know who are the guys Ecotutu currently focuses on as its customer base.
So our customer base, it's largely on aggregators, medium to large scale producers, who are more learned and who understand the business in agribusiness or the business in agriculture, right? So because they see the value of preserving produce and getting it in the right state to their customers. So these guys, the aggregators, they're also in the business of distribution, and then the food procurement companies. So the guys that would typically say they have like this platform or app where you can order for fresh food. What they typically do is they buy in bulk from like maybe farmers group. They need place to store and they need place to retrieve the produce from when they have orders. So these are the guys that are like the customers that we serve. But in terms of beneficiaries, this has ripple effect back to the farmers, right? Because as the smallholder farmers are producing in clusters, aggregators pick from them. Then once aggregators pick from them or food procurement picks from them, we help them to facilitate the storage and distribution, and it improves the return they get from these aggregators, because now aggregators are not able to deliver this produce in the right state and right condition to their off-takers, right? And it means that they're able to make more money because there's no waste and the produce are fresh. They're able to make more money, and then when they are paying back the farmers, there is also that ripple effect of them getting more money on what they pay back to the farmers.
Something that every founder or company, and I mean everyone, this is what industry they always copy this policy. How has those affected you? Number two, if I knew a policy maker, what would you want me to tell him that might perhaps what you do a billion times efficient in the Nigerian market?
Yeah, so in terms of policy that has affected us, I mean, just like policy that have affected businesses in Nigeria, the issues around foreign exchange, because for some of our infrastructure that we build, we also get to import some of these things, some of the components that we use in building our facilities. So we are like at the mercy of FX fluctuation, which affects the eventual profit that comes back to the business. There is also the issue of multiple taxation, especially when we have to for the logistics bit of transporting perishables. There's always one ticket or one permit somewhere that you must collect that you don't know about, and there are always different law enforcement officers, both the military and paramilitary, both the paramilitary and what is it called, the ones that maybe council led or state led, that you don't know where they spring out from, right? And then start asking you for whatnot. All of these things affect the smooth running of businesses, and then it also affect because most times as well they also expect that you should pay what across the point as you move through from point A to point B. This also affects the eventual bottom line that helps business like us to sustain operations over time. So if you're meeting a policymaker today and then what would I want you to tell him or her? It will be a case around for them really understanding that agriculture is a value chain thing, right? So it's not just about production. It's not just about boosting production. What goes in, right, from input level to production level, and then post-harvest handling. So they need to think about agriculture management from the value chain perspective, in end to end. So from providing inputs to how the produce itself is being distributed or being transported or being supplied, they need to put policy framework in place that helps to aid this. And what do I mean? I mean, it's basically just about putting policies that makes or that attracts investment, right? We are not saying government or policymakers should provide should come run these services or provide this intervention. No, it could be some conscious level of organizing the stakeholders in the space and making it attractive enough. Maybe like providing waivers to investors or some kind of tax holiday to whoever invests in this space. Get maybe tax holiday for the next 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, just in the bid to attract investment into that space. Then the issue of multiple taxation, them really checking this, especially for food distribution and ensuring that anyone that is in the business of distributing food or producing food has some sort of waiver or some sort of soft landing in terms of how they get to operate their businesses.
Let me take you upward, a bit upward. We all know that Nigeria we're growing.
So before you go, I think I just have to mention.
I tell my guys.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So my phone battery is running down so fast. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the application, and I'm not connected to power here.
Oh my.
Yeah, so it seems like I have about 5% now. So, and I mean, I had a proper backup, but I think it's draining really fast. Maybe it's the application.
Oh, yeah. Most likely. Okay, let's just round it off on this. You're still an advocate and a businessman. And I know that because you're very close with the activities that happen up on the highest cadre. I'm talking of Geneva, obviously. And all of those things that happen around there. Do you think those guys are really solving the climate change problem? And do you think they're carrying everybody along? I'm interested in that particular conversation.
Yeah, so the guys the World Economic Forum, which I work with through the Global Shapers community or volunteer with. So I am away from my backup now. I'm seeing the message on the screen saying if I can get a power backup. But I didn't plan for this, so it's very far away, and I think that will get me disorganized. Yeah, so there's a conscious effort from the World Economic Forum to drive climate action, and what they are really doing on this is they are leveraging on business partnerships. So they have they have different networks that they are curating and encouraging businesses to join. So in this last visit in Geneva, we heard about how they've designed framework for partner businesses, and these are like really global businesses, Fortune 500 kind of businesses, right? How they have designed a framework that helps them to monitor their supply chain right? And start greening that supply chain. So meaning that if whatever is coming from China, if your raw material or your whatever is coming from China, from Taiwan, from anywhere in the world, ensuring that your supplier also are already infusing some element of greening, right? Some element of sustainability, if you want to call it that, into their process. So it could be that in terms of how they produce or how they transport, or maybe offsetting, right? But that they need to show, their suppliers need to start showing commitment and action, right, towards how they are greening their supply chain. So, and I think this is a big deal, because one of the viable ways that we can really drive change all over the world is through businesses. So policy, then businesses, because these are the guys calling the shots. These are the guys spending the money. So if they want to give you money to do XYZ, they can say, hey, do you have this in place?
Yeah.
If you don't have this in place, then we're not going to sign this contract with you. Just like investors now will be asking, do you have like maybe a human right protection policy at work? Do you have like a maybe like HSC policies? If you don't have those things in place, then we're not going to sign this contract to release these funds to you. You know, when it gets to that point, every fund, every what is it called now? Everyone expecting funding or expecting customers will quickly go get these things done, because these things, money have to come in, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what the World Economic Forum is doing. So driving through businesses that they green their supply chain. They know it's not like an overnight thing. It's a process, but you can start saying, oh, a supplier, how much of electricity do you generate through renewable energy sources? That's something you can say, okay, 30% of our energy is through renewable energy, like solar or wind. Maybe the next 2 years, they plan to make it 50 or 60. Then gradually, they probably will just do 100%.
Mr. Babajide, let me let you go. Let me let you go. Your phone is
I,
down already.
I so wish that I would want that we'll do this again, and no worries,
We'll
I'll be
have
well
to.
prepared for.
Absolutely have to.
I'll be well prepared for this. Yeah. So
By the way, 1 minute more.
okay.
What do you think we can do at Business Momo to make what we're doing now better? Like way better.
I think what you guys are doing, you're already on the path, getting people that are building come share their stories. Um, I'm sure one or two persons might just be able to glean some learnings and inspiration from it, and be able to have a better understanding on how to, if they are currently building, how to better build, if they're about to start, how to properly start, and the like. So yeah, I think it's just more about intensifying on this, getting more founders on board.
That's sound advice. I'll let you go now. It was so amazing having you around. Look forward to doing this with you another time. And it was unfortunate that, okay, it was not actually unfortunate. Things happen, and we have to be able to metamorphose and adapt to everything that happens. We're entrepreneurs now. Why are we doing business Momo if we don't know how to adapt? So, Mr. Alunge Olatunji could not join us on this live call, and for that reason, that's why you're not seeing his face here. You'd have been seeing his smiling face all over the screen by now. But I'm sure that we'll get that fixed to an extremely powerful. I'm a sucker for him. I love when things are done with extreme purpose behind them. And at Business Momo here, it's been a journey. Started some way somehow, every week, every week, and you know, we have that deep feeling that over time where, oh, I can't, oh, I deeply apologize. I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Uh, so we're done with the talk, the call. We'll do that again. Definitely, there are many questions I could not ask him because of few things. There are many questions I personally wanted him to do the love unraveling. Um, so yeah, it was nice having this call, this conversation with Mr. Babajide. It was so nice. Akure, over to you.
Yeah, am I audible? Can you hear me? I want to be sure if I'm audible.
Probably just here.
I audible?
Do that. We do that.
I think I'm audible. I can hear myself right away. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, did we lose that? Okay. I expect Prince to be back in a jiffy. But while he comes back, I would say it's been a nice time really. I've been around. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us. I had to, take care of the technicality so that we can have a very good day today. And our guests had some meetings that came up in between time that were not actually, uh, foreseen ahead of this time. He had to excuse himself from the meeting to give us the time that he gave us. I really want to appreciate every one of us who made it to be here with us today. It's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure, really. And I want to really apologize for the technical issue we had with the audio from the end of our founder, our guest. We are deeply sorry about that. We're getting this really better. From the last time we were here on Business MuMu, the founder story, we had something not as interesting as this. Technically, I think we're getting over some of those things, and it's getting more interesting and more beautiful to watch. Thank you so much for coming around today. I don't know if we could have uh, people who would like to ask question. You can just do that in the comment section. Um, okay, okay. I'm trying to check the shipping industry, for instance, is responsible for. Sorry, I want to see if I can pick that question and put it right on the screen. Okay, that's that's not quickly possible now. Don't let me waste time on that. Um, but does this look like a question? The shipping industry, for instance, is responsible for around 940 million tons of carbon for oxide annually, which is at least 2.5 of the world's total CO2 emission. You would see preparedness to tackle this kind of salient issue by the level of new jobs created in in that line of sustainability. Oh, thank you so much. I think that was just a piece of information. Thank you so much to my brother Toby Aminu. It's a pleasure. Thank you for that bit. I really appreciate. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody. We are having an abrupt end to a session today because of uh, the schedule of the speaker. All right, he promised to be here all through, but he had a meeting that was not scheduled, right? And we got him here because he has funded something, all right? And we will not, because of the opportunity to make him, talk to us and let us learn from him, not allow him pay attention to what he has founded. It's very interesting that sometimes people want to pull out people from what they're actually doing that made them to become uh, noticeable to attend to them. You understand? So we are not going to do that here. We are that empathic that we allow you to continue to grow so that we can always see you available to be able to teach and help us learn more. Of course, we're going to be having a better time, a more convenient time for both parties so that we can enjoy more and more session here with you. Uh, um, I think I'm the only one left now. Uh, Prince David, I think he lost the connection too somehow. But it's cool. It's cool. I just wish I could bring somebody up so that we can have some conversation together. and enjoy this moment. However, while that is not um, happening, I just want to play. I'll be playing a simple video of how we started and um, how it has been, you know, all the while. Uh, just a moment, please. Okay. Boom. Okay. Okay. I think that's not coming up now. All right. All right. All right. All right. So um, permit me to end this. This is. I'm already feeling lonely. Being me here all by myself. I wish I could just have somebody come up and join, so that we can have some more time uh, out here. But seriously, I must say it's an amazing time. It's really an amazing time, and I want to appreciate everyone who made out time to be here. It's a pleasure to have everybody. It's a pleasure to have everybody. Um, while we just round off shortly, I want to say thank you to everybody and talk a little bit about founder story. And founder story is actually uh, organized in such way that we can bring out those very difficult lessons, in business. We can bring out those very, very hard lessons in business to people in a story form, and that they can easily ingrain, that they can easily adopt, and become the best for themselves. They are not going to be stories without the pains. They're not going to be stories that are just going to give you the bright side. They're definitely going to be stories that will give you, a balanced perspective as touching what it means to do business here in Africa. And we have been very, intentional about our choice of audience. They are young people, all right? They are young people who are doing great things in Africa. People who can, serve as example for us. People who can, tell us that, hey, if I can do it, yes, you can do it. So they are not people who have everything, like, okay, this was why I made it. If I didn't make it, it should not have, it should have been a case of whether you didn't want to. So there are people who have that relatable experiences of starting from just the idea and taking it all the way to becoming something that has global relevance. And that's what we are doing here on Founder Story. The word story is our guideline. If you watch carefully, my co-host was able to do so much justice to that. And you see the word story, Ory. S, what's the saving grace? All right. You see, our question is going to come around that we ask different questions to try to bring out that. And this seriously, we do not, prepare our guests ahead of time, because we want them to come and tell us exactly in that real emotion of how it has been. That's what people really connect with, and it's been interesting. So that S stands for the saving grace. We try to ask you, okay, at this point, at that point, the question will come in different manner, right? What was actually the saving grace at this point when you were starting? What happened, along the way? What happened, and all of it like that. And the T there is time, all right? We also ask questions that borders around them, uh, okay, when to start, when to call it a quit, right? When to say, I think it's just hobby, it's not business. That time, the timelines of making that product, something that is ready for market, the timeline of saying, okay, I think we need to do more, those timeline questions too. That's the T of the story. And the O is the opportunity, right? The opportunity, what opportunity do you see? What opportunity did you see? You understand what opportunities are staring right now at you, and you feel like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. This was what I saw, and I started up, and this is what I want you to see, so that you too can do something. That's the O part of it, and the R there is the regrets, right? The regrets. The story is not going to be complete without the regrets. At one point or the other, you felt like you shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. What happened? How did you come back from that? How did you survive your regrets? All right. How did you become resilient, strong after that setback, after that, being downtrodden by whatever it is that happened? All right. How did you bounce back? That's also a part. And the why part is the yieldedness. All right. The yieldedness is my own word of asking for resilience. All right. How have you been able to maintain a sanity? All right. How have you been able to remain competitively advantaged in your sphere, in your area of influence, in your market, in your industry? What has given you that strength to be able to say, hey, this is what we want to do, this is what we are going to do, this is how we are going to do it, and we are doing it, and we're going to get this desired result. So that's what comes together to give us story, all right? And that's the founder story. It's unique here on Business MuMu. We're going to be having times together. We have a very robust lineup of founders that will be coming and sharing with us the native story of how it all started here in Africa, and how anybody there can start something, and how anybody there can do something great on this soil uh, called Africa. And a special announcement: Africa is rising, and it's going to be very interesting that you find a good position along the value chain of the rising of Africa to become relevant. Else, we're going to leave you behind. The train is moving very fast. Find a place, get into it, and let's do this together. It's going to be very interesting to also have you. Or you are a founder and you feel like, hey, I think my story is going to be heard through founder story. Why not contact us and let's do something together? We're going to be having various channels. We're going to be having various means to reaching out to people and getting people to hear really about the story of Africa. If we don't tell our stories, who is going to say who is going to tell the story for us? Nobody is going to say it better than we can. So it's now our time. It's our responsibility to tell our stories, and we are telling our stories. It's a pleasure to really have you here. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who stayed till now, all the way, those that popped in, and I want to apologize for the technical issues we had. At some point, it was echoing from from the guest's audio. We're able to sort out eventually. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate everybody, and a special shout out to my co-host. Thank you for holding the ground. I think he didn't know that I was, quite on the screen, and it's a pleasure really to have us. Um, okay, and no one will appreciate our kind rising. Yeah, we need to appreciate it. If we don't, nobody will do that for us. Thank you so much, my brother Toby Aminu. It's a pleasure to have you right here on the line. Doing a lot for us. It's been nice having everybody. I think I can do that just quickly for the sake of record. Oh, um, some people's name are no longer here, but I'll just mention the few that I can just catch up with now. Emmanuel Ajaero, sorry if I didn't pronounce that properly. Thank you so much for coming around. Victor Idowu, thank you so much. Akali Edom, thank you so much. Okola Obankole, thank you so much. We got a lot of people, on the timeline. I really want to appreciate people that came around. I'm not seeing all the people who passed comment at the moment. I don't know. the platform already rolled some away from my view at the moment. Thank you so much to everybody who came. It's a pleasure, and I would say keep doing well. And we are going to be bringing a lot for you that will take you away from that zone of mortality in business. Remember, Business MuMu is here to reduce business mortality rate in Africa. If we can reduce business mortality rate, it means that we have better society. Yeah, the truth is, what makes any society to work is the capacity that businesses have got, the strength that businesses have got. I define business as the boss that is commissioned to carry goodness from one point to the other. When you look at the word business, all right, you see boss and you see goodness. So I see business as a boss that is commissioned uh, for carrying goodness from a point to the other. All right. So if we are going to have enough goodness anywhere we are finding ourselves, it means we need to have enough business. All right. It's a kind of goodness that we are able to have this platform. Imagine we didn't have this platform alive from the mind of the inventor, of the creator, we may not be able to have this, interesting time. So that's business, all right? That's what business is. That's what business can do. That's what business does. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate everybody. I really want to appreciate everybody. Everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I want to say a big warm regard to everybody. I seriously wish that I could have somebody come here on stage now and then we can have some nice time together. Um, I don't know. Please, if you want to come on stage, let me see. Do I have time? Oops, I think time is gone. We planned on actually having, just 1 hour, 30 minutes for this session. And then we just spent an hour now. I don't know. Okay. Um, if you like to join, if you like to join the session, I feel like it's too early to call it off, right? If you like to join the session, can you comment? Can you comment if you like to join the session? Can you comment and I can just uh, easily share you the link so that we can have a bit of conversation together. I will count 1 to 10. If there is no one, then I can call it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I take that for no one. Thank you so much. I really want to appreciate everybody who has made time to be here with us. Keep watching this timeline. You're going to get a lot of value uh, from what we have done, from the things we're going to do, and the things we are doing currently. Thank you so much. I want to say do have a wonderful and lovely weekend. It's the end of the month already today. To everybody, I wish you a happy new month in advance. Keep being amazing. It's a pleasure. And this is Business Momo, where we bring to you everything that makes your business to remain alive. Your business can't die. And that's why Business Momo is here. Your business should not die. That's why you have to always be on Business Momo to get the life part time, that makes businesses to do well. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for your time and resources for joining us. One thing I will tell you next time, it's going to be better, of course. It's a pleasure.